All right, so now with this discussion, the history of income taxes, part 6, Jekyll Island is the epicenter of this all. What went down with Jekyll Island is key. We are now done with discussing the 1907, the Panic of 1907. We see how these private banks just start popping up all around the place out of nowhere, all around the nation, because industrialists, people who are getting money, they're making their own industries, their own monopolies. They're controlling their own oil, steel, and banking systems where they are. They open up their own banks and gaining interest off of this ratio, which is already slight to the people, of a 10-to-1 for all the banks that they originally described and agreed to dish out to the people. Now these new banks are doing their own interest rate, and it's causing chaos because they're just trying to profit as much as they can. The greedy followed the greedy. The corruption created more corruption. Although this is the truth, J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, Rothschilds, all these individuals, they didn't like these new bankers becoming rich. They already looked at each other as competition. So they had to figure out a way to end competition. Jekyll Island. Don't forget, time to have them tinfoil hats on. So now, who are the players of Jekyll Island is so important. We're going to definitely, obviously, be getting into what happened and what is Jekyll Island if you're still asking. It's very important to know who is associated with Jekyll Island. It's very important to also understand something very key here. The who is 7 individuals. These 7 individuals that we're about to go into very soon, they are 1/6. They represent 1/6. They represent 1 out of 6. A sixth of all of the gold reserves in the world at this time. 1/6 of the wealth of the world is within and representation of these 7 individuals. These 7 individuals are connected to 1/6 of the world's economy. They're having a meeting in America. Why? Is that some type of coincidence that rival bankers who never had real ties with each other, for some reason, after the Panic of 1907, decided it's time for us to change things? Change the entire infrastructure and makeup of the economy of America, forever changing what citizens view as their full sovereignty? Oh, this is major. Let's keep this in mind as far as the national debt now. 1910, at the time of this meeting, national debt is $2.65 billion. $2.65 billion is the national debt. If for those who want to do the math, that's about $7 billion if we use the inflation concept of about 2.5%. Or 2.5 times. I mean, you know what I mean. So I guess I should have said 250%. The point that I'm making here, though, is what is the national debt today? $40 trillion. The national debt right now today, July 31st, or whatever you're watching this, is $40 trillion. $40 trillion equates to, you can do the math and look it up yourself, approximately $12.4 billion per day. Our debt right now goes up $12.4 billion a day. Obviously, you know that it's connected to this warfare, but that's not the only reason why our debt is like this. If we cover just the income tax of 2025, it covers, I believe, approximately only 50% of only the interest that our debt creates per year. The income tax that the people are already paying for with blood, sweat, and tears, that's not even covering A half of the entire national debt? It was only 2.65 billion. If you even go to with inflation, $7 billion in 1910. And today it is moving up $12.4 billion per day. Our national debt in 2026, in approximately 120 years only, is at a point where it's more per day. Our national debt per day is more than it was at all in 1910, before we had something called an income tax, before we had something called a Federal Reserve, before we had a meeting at Jekyll Island. Think about that math. Before we get into this meeting now, how much money was 1/6 of the world's economy at the time? $22 billion. The 7 members who met at Jekyll Island were worth $22 billion on paper. Who knows what was going on behind the scenes, if you understand what I'm saying. But even on paper, they were worth $22 billion. Before we get into the players now, I need to ask you guys a question. Don't forget, get the tinfoil hats, patriotic, but you think freely and question everything. If they were worth $22 billion and they really loved America, they was all about America, one of the easiest proofs would be you can just wipe out the national debt right one time. It won't do anything to you. Bing, over. 10% of these people who got 1/6 of the world's economy with just 10%, $2.2 billion, they could have, we done with this national debt. Don't worry about that. You guys just pay off that little bit. Your debt is a little bit. It's nothing. A couple of $100,000 now. That's it. Could have had the power to do that. Did they love America enough to do that? No. Instead of focusing on how to help America, that just was in a recession, still has a national debt that you guys are clearly part of, instead of bailing them out and wiping out that national debt for them, as they are connected to America as well, they decide to focus on, we need to make a cartel. It's time to take this syndicate to a cartel. And as we prepare ourselves to get into the players of Jekyll Island, a cartel sounds like you know. How many times you hear cartels in 1910? They spearheaded the concept of a cartel for us today. How did they describe their cartel, a banking cartel? By making sure we eliminate all competition. Make sure all of the top ranking members of our cartel are all unified as one. Absolutely make sure the people are aware of our existence, but they don't know the actual members and who and what they do. Make sure the people are the ones who are bringing the bulk of the work. They are making sure we are the ones that are getting fed. We're not going to use our money. We're using the people's money. The people are the ones that we're going to be benefiting on. Their pockets, their hard-earned money is what we're going to be using. Isn't that what cartels do? Make sure they hustle stuff across the borders and make sure people have something from their hard-earned work banks to give to them so they can make money. And last but not least, what does a cartel do? All cartels, tell me, am I lying? They are absolutely directly working with some type of government/law enforcement. 100%. Doesn't matter what level that cartel is. If it's a lower level local law enforcement, it's a low level cartel. If you're working with a president, you know that's a big time cartel. Let's get into the players and see how serious is this banking cartel. Jekyll Island. Who are the players? Let's put your tinfoil hats on. It's time to take a journey into some insanity about secret meetings.